Now at 5, a look at the vaccination rates of some area counties and how proximity to a state border might impact those numbers.
What could the bipartisan infrastructure bill mean for you? I'm Natalie Brand at the White House with a look at what's in the bill, plus why the Democratic social spending package is still in limbo.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Cherokee County Sheriff disagrees with the KDHE statistics when it comes to the county vaccination rate. This is KOAM News at 5. According to the KDHE COVID-19 vaccination rate map, Cherokee County has one of the lowest rates in the state for fully vaccinated residents ages 12 and older at roughly 36%. According to KDHE's map, neighboring Crawford County has a 53% rate. Neosho County has a 50% rate, and Labette County has a 54% rate. But the Cherokee County Sheriff David Groves says the KDHE isn't getting the big picture when it comes to his county.
We have a large population of our citizens who work particularly in the medical fields in the Joplin area, and so through their employer they're being vaccinated there, and that data is just not shared across state lines with respect to how KDHE is capturing that.
The CDC data tracker shows the percentage of fully vaccinated people ages 12 and up in Cherokee County is considerably higher at 48.6%. A representative from Joplin's Freeman Hospital explains what they do with employee vaccination data tonight at 6. A new website promotes stories about the people of Pittsburgh. The Imagine Pittsburgh Committee and Limelight Marketing today launched the website pitcan.com. Officials say the goal of the initiative is to highlight the positive things happening in the city, and they hope it'll lead more people wanting to move to Pittsburgh.
To be able to tell our own story more effectively. And so that's what we were trying to do, is to take the best of Pittsburgh, put it out there, no ads and not cluttered. And it'd be a story that everybody, all the different groups, organizations, and individuals could go to so that we could learn to tell our own story better, be more effective at people who looking to come home.
Also, as part of the initiative, there are Facebook and Instagram accounts under the handle PitCan. Doug Hetty joins us under mostly clear skies, Doug.
Yeah, it turned out to be a pretty nice weekend and then a very nice Monday as well. The winds have picked up a little bit, but it's turned out to be another nice day. Pretty much clear skies right now. The only thing that stinks is it's almost dark, which is kind of crazy. Of course, daylight saving time ending about 36 hours ago. We look pretty good. We have mostly clear skies, but we are seeing some clouds increasing back across western Oklahoma. Those will increase tonight. Plus, look at the cold front out across central Kansas. That front will play havoc with us as we go through the middle of the work week. Now, until then, we look pretty good. Look at our temps. Most of us upper 60s to near 70 degrees right now. It is breezy. We have these south winds at about 10 to 20 with gusts a little bit higher than that. We're going to slide back through the 60s, 50s, but only mid-50s for overnight lows tonight. Thunderstorm chances in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. President Biden returned to Washington today with a major legislative victory under his belt, a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. White House officials say the president will sign that bill soon. Now the attention turns to the president's social spending and climate agenda, with top congressional Democrats looking to take action as soon as next week. Reporter Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
The Biden administration is taking a victory lap days after the House passed the roughly $1 trillion bipartisan physical infrastructure bill.
President Biden's historic bipartisan infrastructure deal will now become the law of the land, and it couldn't come at a more urgent time.
The bill includes $110 billion to repair aging highways, roads, and bridges, $105 billion to modernize rail and public transit, $65 billion each to strengthen the electrical grid and expand broadband access, and $55 billion to upgrade water pipes.
When exactly can Americans expect to see a difference in their lives?
The short answer is as fast as many of these agencies and workforces can absorb those dollars.
A handful of Republicans in both chambers supported the bipartisan bill. Top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell said Monday he was, quote, delighted by the House vote. But other members of his party disagree and promise an even bigger fight against the president's social spending plan.
The Democrats in D.C. and Republicans continue to waste your money, and I'm going to oppose it all the way along.
House Democratic leaders want to pass the nearly $2 trillion social spending bill as soon as next week, but moderates say they want to see a Congressional Budget Office score first.
What's most important is that this bill is fiscally responsible and paid for.
In the deal reached Friday, Democratic moderates in the House agreed to support the current bill if it does not add to the budget deficit, or else negotiations continue. Natalie Brent, CBS News, the White House.
Wednesday, President Biden is expected to go to the Port of Baltimore in Maryland to talk about how the infrastructure deal will upgrade the nation's ports and help ease ongoing supply chain disruptions. A cybersecurity research firm says foreign hackers have breached 9 organizations in the defense, energy, healthcare, technology, and education sectors. At least one of the organizations is in the U.S. Palo Alto Network says the hackers stole passwords to gain long-term access to these organizations' networks. It's unclear who is responsible for the breach, but some of the attackers' tactics overlap with those used by a suspected Chinese hacking group. Still ahead, major airlines preparing for a rise in business.
The U.S. is once again welcoming international travelers. I'm Elise Preston with what that means for the American tourism industry.
And next in Health Watch, how a psychological therapy is helping some patients with chronic pain.
The Salvation Army.
Topping today's Health Watch, more progress in the fight against COVID-19. Regeneron says that a single dose of its antibody cocktail reduced the risk of contracting the virus by more than 80%. The therapy, given as an injection, is being tested in people exposed to COVID-19. It's being studied as an alternative for people who don't respond well to vaccines. Millions of adults are coping with chronic back pain, which can significantly limit their ability to work and do other daily activities. Well, now researchers in Colorado are studying a unique non-drug treatment to eliminate that pain. Reporter Naomi Ruckham has more on how a psychological therapy is helping some patients get their lives back.
Daniel Waldrip suffered with chronic back pain for 20 years. Doctors could never find the source.
I made the decision that I was going to keep running and trying to play golf and skiing, and I was just going to do it and pay the price.
He was willing to try anything for relief, including physical therapy and acupuncture.
It was getting progressively worse through the years. It just became part of life.
Then he heard about a treatment being tested called pain reprocessing therapy. Dr. Yoni Ashar led the research at the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Changes in the brain cause the pain to persist. Basically, the brain learns the pain. And what we tried to do in this study was teach people how to unlearn the pain.
In the study of about 150 people with chronic back pain, 66% of patients who had pain reprocessing therapy were pain-free or nearly pain-free after 4 weeks, compared to 20% of the placebo group and 10% of the non-treatment group. Most maintained relief for a year. Regions of the brain associated with pain were also changed after therapy.
The pain is always real. But if the problems lay in the brain, then the solution may lay there too. And so we taught people to think differently and to feel differently about their pain, to understand that the pain is basically a false alarm.
I started to believe that actually there was no injury, that no damage was being done. I didn't get better right away, but that was the turning point.
It's been 4 years since Waldrip took part in the research.
This changed everything for me. It gave me my life back.
A life without pain. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Research from the CDC shows low back pain is the most common pain reported. Researchers have identified a molecule that suppresses prostate tumors. It could be a new way to treat prostate cancer that's resistant to traditional hormonal therapies. The researchers say existing drugs are effective initially, but often stop working for patients after a year or two. The new technique targets proteins that fuel tumors. A new study finds school-based mental health screening can help identify depression in students. Researchers at Penn State's College of Medicine followed 12,000 high schoolers for 3 years and found students who participated in universal school-based depression screening were twice as likely to start treatment for depression. More adolescents are reporting symptoms of depression, and suicide is the second leading cause of adolescent death. And a new drug, designed for diabetes, could help treat patients with chronic kidney disease. New clinical data shows the drug dapagliflozin effectively slows the decline of kidney function in patients regardless of whether they have diabetes. The drug can also reduce the risk of heart failure and death in chronic cases. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the BBB reports a rise in complaints against the vehicle service contract industry.
Plus, we have some more thunderstorms in the forecast and much colder temperatures working in. We're going to look at that coming up.
Espresso? Yes, I do.
We definitely had a fantastic weekend, and then of course we started out the work week today looking pretty good. Mostly sunny skies, temps into lower 70s during the afternoon, which is above our average high for this time of the year. Of course, the sun is setting, but still we have nice temperatures. Most of us upper 60s to near 70 degrees. So a nice evening. It's going to stay kind of breezy, and we're not going to drop off as much during the overnight hours. But look at the winds. We have these south winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then we've had gusts kind of in that 25 upwards to 30 mile per hour range. It's crazy. It's 5:15 and it looks like that. The sun is pretty much gone. Of course, we're continuing to lose evening daylight hours over the next few weeks. But it's 70, south winds at 13, gusts at 24, relative humidity at 44%. Through the evening hours, we slide back through the 60s and then eventually into the mid 50s for overnight lows, but not much going on. Just a few mid and upper level clouds kind of streaming through. Most of the central plains looking good. We do have a weak cold front out to our west, which is going to roll in tomorrow. You can see this system spinning across the northern parts of the plains, but our next bigger system is moving into really the western third of the country, northern parts of California, and that's the system that's going to give us chances for showers, even some thunderstorms by the time we head into late Wednesday. For us tonight, clouds increase, so by morning, we're going to have a lot of mid and upper level clouds across the region. As we go through the daytime hours, we get a weak front that slides in. You can see some spotty sprinkles that could pop up, so don't be surprised if you see some raindrops during the daytime hours, especially the afternoon tomorrow. We're going to start at 55, 65 by noon, high temp still near 70. The winds will briefly switch to the northwest during the afternoon and right back to the south tomorrow night, because whatever weak front rolls in will start to lift back north by the time we head into tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. With it, you can see some light showers. So this is Wednesday morning, light showers across the region. These pass on by. Majority of Wednesday looks pretty good. And then look at the thunderstorms that get going by Wednesday evening. So they'll start to work into our western counties. Some of these storms could be strong. I'm not anticipating anything severe. I think anything severe would stay south of the region. But a pretty good band of thunderstorms. Here's 9 p.m. Wednesday evening. Heavy amounts of rain. Then it quickly pushes out. And then look at the colder air spills in behind it by the time we head into Thursday, Friday, and actually lasting into the weekend. Rainfall amounts, I think with this next system, most of us will get 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch to an inch in that range. So decent rainfall amounts with the system, especially late Wednesday into Thursday. Once it's gone, the colder air is in place. Another cold front drops through Friday. Highs only near 50. As we head into the weekend, temperatures really don't rebound much until the second half of the weekend. So we got the nice temperatures now and quite a bit cooler late this week. 69 tomorrow, a few sprinkles. 68 with thunderstorms mainly in the evening on Wednesday. High 58 Thursday, only 51 Friday. A nice weekend, but kind of chilly, but it's November, mid-November almost.
That happens in November, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The colors are nice. Right?
Yeah, it's beautiful outside.
Thanks, Doc. Coming up, the U.S. reopens for some international travel. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Clifford Conway served in the U.S. Army in 1970 and 71. The Alba, Missouri native was stationed in Vietnam, and we salute Specialist Clifford Conway, a four-state hero.
Up today. Avoid the hassle. Go Paschal.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, a Better Business Bureau study shows a rise in complaints about the vehicle service contract industry. The BBB of eastern and southwestern Missouri and southern Illinois have processed more than 15,000 complaints about VSC companies since 2000. The main complaints are that the companies mislead clients. The BBB recommends closely reading any contract before signing. Starting today, the U.S. is allowing previously banned international visitors if they are fully vaccinated. Tourists from some 33 countries, including Britain, most of Europe, and China, had been blocked for nearly 20 months because of the pandemic. Reporter Elise Preston shows us how the change is giving a much-needed boost to many American businesses.
The return of international travelers is not only reuniting loved ones.
How are you feeling right now? I don't have words.
It's also reconnecting millions of tourists to U.S. industries that depend on their dollars, including airlines. Delta has seen a 450% increase in international bookings, and hotels like the Fitzpatrick Grand Central in Manhattan are once again welcoming foreign visitors.
How are you feeling?
We're excited. We really are.
Owner John Fitzpatrick saw business drop 90% at one point, but now is expecting a surge of holiday guests.
Our business for the first 2 weeks of December is greater than it was in the same month in 2019.
The U.S. Travel Association says the decline of international visitors during the pandemic has led to a loss of $300 billion and 1 million American jobs. But now hiring is ramping up, including in U.S. towns along the Mexican border, like Southern California's San Isidro, where 80% of tourists are from Mexico. Big cities are also getting a boost. About half of all tourism spending in New York comes from international travelers, according to NYC and Company. It's a similar story in San Francisco.
In 2019, just to give you an example, 63% of all tourism spending in San Francisco is by international visitors. And that has been shut down since the beginning of the pandemic.
Foreign travelers tend to stay longer and spend more money. Two big reasons why the tourism industry is welcoming them back. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Boeing has agreed to a multi-million-dollar settlement with shareholders over its troubled 737 MAX. Under the terms of the $237.5 million deal, Boeing has to add another director to its Board of Aviation Engineering or Product Safety experience. The settlement also requires Boeing to issue yearly public reports on safety-related enhancements. Small tech company says Facebook stole its name. Chicago-based Meta company says it declined an offer from Facebook to buy its name earlier this year and alleges that the platform committed trademark infringement when it changed its name. Another Arizona company named Meta PCs is having more fun with the rebranding, saying it's changing its name to Facebook. More than 40% of consumers say they're willing to go into debt for the holidays this year. Of that group, nearly half say they'll do it to make themselves happy. That's according to creditcards.com. And more than 40% say they'll pile charges on the plastic to make a loved one happy. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the latest on the investigation into the Astro World Festival disaster. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on how the vaccination rate in Cherokee County differs from CDC numbers. Plus, court documents reveal new details in an Ottawa County murder investigation. And a proposal to eliminate a sales tax on groceries in Kansas. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. As lava continues lighting up the sky on the Spanish island of La Palma, it's becoming a magnet for tourists. That includes a classic car tour. The vintage vehicles rolled in for a 19-day tour covering all the Spanish Canary Islands. But La Palma, that is the showstopper, as you might imagine. Still, many left their most prized possessions at home because it is still a natural disaster, but a rare opportunity to see something like that, I suppose.
Kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That was similar to my car that went by there.
I'm sure it was.
In high school, I had a 67 Mustang. That was
back in the day. I thought you meant now.
That was a 66. That just went by, I believe.
Should have hung on to that, huh?
I wish.
Kicking yourself.
Yeah, okay.
All right, weather-wise, it looks good tonight. We'll drop back into the mid-50s. 69 tomorrow, maybe a random sprinkle. Most of Wednesday looks pretty good, but thunderstorms roll in by the evening and then turning much cooler the rest of the week.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. We'll see you right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.